Hi, I'm Lucy and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to be packing it in with loads of adventures as I finish up my journey on the North Island. So we're going on new hikes, canyoning, road trip with my gifted car which comes with the house, and I'm also going on some beautiful local walks, hikes, swims, and taking on something different as a bit of a challenge, because in this week's episode I've also booked onto a canyoning trek, so I'll be doing some abseiling, climbing, and I'll also be taking my first ever boat trip on a sailing boat all around the New Zealand harbour as a sunset experience. So let's jump right into it. Outside of Wellington, you have some of the most gorgeous peninsulas. They even call it a bit like the Highlands here because it's more like the Isle of Skye on a sunny day. You've got some sheer face, huge rocky cliffs that dive straight off as a sheer face into a crystal blue ocean. So every morning I try to get out with the dog and I go for a little dip. Simba doesn't enjoy to swim, he's not a massive water dog. I'll take him in to just wet his paws, but I know he won't come in and deep swim with me. So I tied him to a little log on the beach and he'll sit there so tentatively and just watch me swim. What a sweetheart. The water's quite warm at the moment, it's about 10 to 15 degrees. This was a particularly sunny day, but as you can see, his ears and eyes are fixed on me even as I have a little float around, and as soon as I start to come back to shore, he's up, he's wagging because he just wants to be near me. He's a real Velcro dog, but it's sweet, and this is why I love dog sitting so much, because the bond that you build with other people's pets is so special, and I really love looking after some of these animals. In the afternoon, I took Simba for a little afternoon walk. This is at Trestle Park, which is in the heart of the city centre of Wellington, but it's an off-leash area and a river walk, so it's mostly flat. But I tell you what, it's a beautiful little walk. It's about 45 minutes from one end to the other, and it's got a rich history because this is actually where the old gun barracks and ammunition store used to be after the original settlers came in the 1800s. These are the barracks, or what's left of them. The roof was blown off after an ammunitions incident, but the original cement and bricks are still here, which is also a testament to Wellington because obviously they've had some pretty big earthquakes, but it's still standing as a foundation. So an interesting history. You can just imagine all the big old cannonballs that they used to shove in places like this. Come and join us on a peaceful little walk through the woods and take in some of the stunning views and vegetation of the local area. I had a text message from a mate of mine saying, do you fancy coming out on the boat for a sunset trip around the harbour? Because they're currently just finished renovating their dad's sailboat. And I was like, absolutely yes. So we're going to go on a little side quest to meet a friend and go on a boat. And then we're going to catch the sunset from Wellington Harbour. Whoop whoop. That's pretty cool. So this is my buddy Tim's boat. He's a registered carpenter, and oh my goodness, isn't this absolutely epic? He's done a great job of restoring it to its former glory. Can actually sleep up to 6 people in here, but very comfortably you can have a whole crew of people sat out enjoying a gorgeous sunny afternoon just like this. Tim's been sailing since he was a kid, and he was an absolute pro at getting us out of the harbour safely. It's so weird to watch a huge boat like this do a reverse parallel park. But you know what? He absolutely smashed it. And I thought the van was tricky to drive. Once we got the sails up, it was nothing but speed, and we managed to get out to the little island in the middle of the harbour, which is actually Quarantine Island. It's a bird reserve now, but it used to be where they stuck everybody when they originally came off the ships in the 1800s as a form of quarantine before they hit the mainland. Tim was really knowledgeable about all the local area, and it was really interesting for us all to sit and listen. The next morning, I went over to the Tapakuro Reserve, which is where you can actually go whale watching during their season or breeding season. It's not the time at the moment, so I didn't see any whales. However, I did see some awesome 4x4s going off track here. So I think you can get all the way around this cove. Red Rocks, which is a really cool little geological area where it's super iron rich. So it's like all red and looks like volcano-y. But I just took the dog and checked out some of the surfing and kite surfing, which is also available to do here. So it's pretty cool. I have to say there's so much going on in Wellington. It's such a cool area. When I was taking a picture of this little camper van on the beach behind me, it's an old library school bus, I totally saw that there was a seal there. I'd missed it at first because it was fast asleep. But you know what? It's just another testament to if you don't look closely, there's all this stuff going on right underneath your eyes and you don't notice. I was just taking a picture of the camper van and was like, oh, there's a New Zealand fur seal there. Today's side quest is a little bit spooky. The reason for that is because I'm trying to explore Karori locally. So this is Karori Cemetery. And you might be thinking, Lucy, have you physically lost the plot now? Well, Karori Cemetery is actually the oldest in Wellington and one of the oldest in the whole of New Zealand for Western settlers. So that means that I'm the oldest person walking around this graveyard. If you look at the gravestones, most people died in their early 20s or early 30s, which makes me ancient compared to these guys. And it just goes to show that the early settlers had it really rough when it came to make a living as a pioneer out here in the 1800s. But what was kind of cool was how nature's reclaimed a lot of these older graves. There's also a huge arboretum for war graves here as well for the Second and First World War, including the Vietnam and some of the more modern wars. So that was interesting as a little walk round. Because I'd wanted to book onto a really challenging experience. That's right, I'm having a go at canyoning in Upper Hutt. Now this section of the canyon is super steep and I could not stop myself from falling over slippy rocks, but it was my first time abseiling down waterfalls and just ascending through the gorge, and I absolutely had a riot. It was so much fun. So I'm definitely going to go canyoning all over again some other time. Massive shout out to the Wellington Raft Company for sorting me out. Feeling a little bit bruised and worse for wear the next day, I thought it would be nice to take the 3-hour drive through Martinborough at the vineyards and down to the valley towards Ocean Beach. Drone up to show the kind of bendy windy roads, little did I know that actually I was capturing a David Attenborough motion moment. That's right, I spotted dolphins. Let's see if I can put my drone on sport mode and try and follow them from a distance respectfully. Oh my goodness. I found a pod of up to 14 dolphins, including 2 babies. This was such a spectacular moment and I never anticipated to see dolphins in the wild. You can see the darker tones underneath the sea, which is the kelp forests where they're trying to catch the little fish that are coming out. How amazing. Hey, so today we are going on a little adventure over to the Pinnacles, which is a DOC site or Department of conservation site. Basically kind of like any of the heritage places that are of interest in New Zealand mainly tend to be DOC maintained, which means that it's good because they're like highly accessible. The DOC look after them because of their ecology, and like for example the Pinnacles is like created by erosion, so they keep an eye on all the trails and stuff, because if there's any rain or flash flooding that comes through there, obviously it just wipes all the trails away. So at the moment we've got a closure on one of the walks that we wanted to do, so we can't do the Upper Valley Ridge walk, which is the one I did last time I came down there, which was like 8 years ago now. So yeah, very, very exciting, but we unfortunately can't do the hike that I kind of wanted to do, but we're going to make the most of it and do a hike that I'd really like to do instead. The scenery here is just incredible. But yeah, in about 25 minutes we'll be there, but Simba's flat out asleep at the minute. So we're just walking up the old riverbed through the gorge now, and then it's about 45 minutes up to the lookout point, but this is our current view. Absolutely incredible. I've got Simba tied to the rucksack so he's not pulling too much, and it just gives me a better control on him rather than pulling off to the sides. He'll stay mostly on the path now. But oh wow, look at how big this riverbed is. So it does say about flash flooding in this area, so I guess that makes total sense, right? Trail's kind of steadily heading up, and there's a couple of like dense sections of forest now, which are just incredible. So these are New Zealand ferns that we're in a grove of, but honestly me and Jess like binge watch over Christmas Pirates of the Caribbean, and I just get that vibe. Like the last film we watched was so like this, when they're running about on the island. Yeah, it just feels like really tropical. It's so cool. But yeah, I thought this was going to be like a really sandy mountainous track, and at the moment we're just in this subterranean jungle. It's proper cool. Can you hear that? It's absolutely mental. It's like crackling. At first I thought it was wildfire, but I genuinely think it's like the dry bark peeling off the trees, and that's the sound you can hear. It's like the bark peeling away. I'll show you. It's either that or something's crackling and breaking, but either way, as a soundscape, it sounds absolutely crazy. It's more like a tropical rainforest, if I'm honest. But yeah, I still don't know what the sound is. Please do leave me a comment below, because I'm so fascinated to know. But anyway, after 45 minutes of ascended climbing, we then got up to one of the viewpoints, which was actually really, really pretty. You can see the top of the Pinnacles here. So it's basically where it has eroded away to give a kind of gully where you can then see these monoliths. You can also see some of the old shells. I say shells, but they're actually little sea creatures and fossils of different sea creatures, all in the rock and stone here. Wow. Just wow. One thing that's really getting me is that where it's all ocean deposits, it's just crazy. All the little bouldery bits that are stuck in it from an old volcano. It's just crazy. A heritage site. Let's get the drone up and take some aerial shots so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Just incredible. The Pinnacles Walk is really famous for its different geological landscapes. So you've got these huge kind of riverbeds where the erosion of all the water just takes everything out to sea, and it creates these really steep cliffs on either side. And it also creates these huge monoliths, which are huge stone stacks. You may recognise this as a general view from Lord of the Rings if you're a fan. This is where Aragorn actually goes to summon the Duodin, which is like the army of the dead. So they shot those particular scenes right here at the Pinnacles. It's crazy to think that that was almost 20 years ago now, but as a landscape it might seem familiar. Simba slept all the way home. The next day was definitely a bit more of a chilled one. Unfortunately, I'd had a call back from hospital that it was time for me to go for my mammogram, because on the first day I landed in New Zealand, I discovered in the shower at the hostel that I had a lump in my breast. It was a new lump and I didn't want to chance it with leaving it 3 months until I had it checked out back in the UK. So I've had to pay privately because unfortunately the insurance wouldn't pay out. So I paid £500, which works out to like 1,000 something dollars for this breast scan and ultrasound. But anyway, it turns out it's an okay kind of a lump. So I will have some more ultrasounds when I get back to the UK and keep it monitored. But I'm still taking it as good news, even though it's massively hit up my budget and I was in tears about the money situation, because it's really going to affect me by the time I get to Australia. But hey ho, it's best to get these things checked and I didn't want to leave it to chance. My friend Sophie invited me out with 6 of her mates to a lovely little Thai restaurant downtown over in Petone. So actually that was kind of a nice way to celebrate my good news, and because of that we met up the next day to have a little bit of me and Sophie time as I actually leave New Zealand tomorrow, which I'm so sad about. I've had such a special time here. So we decided to take Simba to a new place up on the cliffs, and I accidentally found a World War II bunker. This is one of the original gun turret bunkers. And as you can see, it overlooks the bay. Isn't it absolutely stunning? I'm really thankful to Sophie in particular, who's just adopted me into her New Zealand family over here and made me feel so welcome. She's introduced me to all of her friends. I've really had some amazing experiences. I'm really grateful. But now it's time to pack up my bags and get myself on the road, because tomorrow I fly over to Christchurch.
Morning. It's 5:45 in the morning. I'm just waiting for my taxi to arrive to take me to the airport. I literally sat on my suitcase on the street in the dark, waiting for my Uber taxi to take me. And I've just kissed goodbye to the dog. He slept with me last night, not his parents, so I'm taking that as it went well, because yeah, he came and saw me last night even though his family was home. He was like, I'm gonna go sleep with Lucy. So yeah, I feel really emotionally attached to the dog now. I feel a bit like, ooh, this morning, emotional. It's the longest I've stayed anywhere this year. So yeah, reflecting upon my time here, I'm like, I don't really want to leave, but it's not my house, so I've got to go. And it's going to be an exciting adventure for what's coming next. So yeah, let's roll with it. No time to feel wistful or sad. Like, it's a lovely experience, however it's temporary. So I think I've got to love it and let it go. Otherwise I'm going to get sad about it, because it's just been the most incredible 6 weeks. Been lovely, and the animals have been lovely, and the people were lovely, but it's time to go.
Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time as we start our road trip around the southern island. That's right, we've got 14 days on a hire camper van and we're going for an epic road trip adventure. See you next week.